Welcome to the running journey. Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome to the running journey.
Welcome
to the running journey. Running journey, yeah. Welcome to The Running Journey, a transformative podcast telling the story of two brothers faced with a very tough time in their lives that decided to do something about it, get healthy, get fit, and start jogging. The Running Journey will take you through half marathons, Ironmans, Ultramarathons, and their attempt at qualifying for the Boston Marathon.
Don't forget 5Ks. Sorry.
We're certainly not going to forget 5Ks, Charlie. This is The Running Journey. Listen to us while you run.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I think we have our intro. Hey, welcome everyone. Great to have you here. It's another episode of The Running Journey. I'm Rob Tatro. It's my brother, Charlie.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, he's going to say something. How do you like the sun in your eyes there? It's right in your eyes. No?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe I need to adjust the blind, but I need the vitamin D as well. So
okay, fair enough.
Good.
Great to have you here. Viewers, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share and all that fun stuff. Listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, I guess, or if you're watching a YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the bell. So let's start with, I have not talked to you since your race this weekend. How did the race go? You were doing the Frozen Falcon.
Yeah, it didn't go very well. It was just really hard and way harder than I expected. And after I was doing okay, first 4 laps. And then on the 5th lap, so after 18 miles, about after 18 miles, I started having a little pain in my foot, just the old injury coming back. So I walked a little bit, and then I tried to start running again, and it was just too painful. I could have kept going, but I was really I just wanted to kind of not hurt it more because of the Ironman training that I want to keep doing. So I was very disappointed, but health is what matters the most, I guess. I didn't want to put my health at risk, but it was really hard. I kudos to the guys so some people did 40 miles. You do not understand how difficult that course is. It's I don't know, to me, like one of those miles is like 2 regular miles. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's just the amount of effort, and especially when you have my feet. I don't have the strongest feet, I guess, and the strongest ankles. I guess I need to work on that strength. But like amazing performances by some guys did 40. One guy, I think a couple people did 44 miles.
Two guys did 44 miles.
Yeah, so incredible. So he lapped me when I was doing my 5th. But he was going at a good pace. Nice. So very impressive performances.
We did 44 miles in 8 hours. So he's averaging 5.5 miles an hour, just about 6 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So he's almost doing 10-minute miles, not quite 10.5, 11-minute miles.
I guarantee he was doing faster than that at the beginning. So he must have slowed down a little bit. I was on pace for I was doing about 48. I was on pace for like 40 miles after my 4th lap, and then I just collapsed. So very disappointing, but you just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if I know you're disappointed. I know how you are, and I know you're disappointed, but I guess this is part of the reason we do this, is to gather thoughts and emotions and how we feel, and we track that. But I mean, I spoke to Joel on Monday. Joel is the organizer of the race, who happens to be my personal trainer. He told me the running conditions were extremely tough that day because of, I guess it got warm or something, or it got cold and it got warm. So the track was extremely soft.
Oh, I don't know. It was, I thought that's always how it was there. Like, I thought maybe this was easier compared to other years, but either way, it was extremely difficult for me. I was not trained for it. So,
But okay,
by the third lap, I was just trying not to twist my ankle.
because every step, it's like a battle to get up and to the next one. Like it's not, you're not running on a road where the legs just keep moving, right? It's not that.
No, every step is an effort. Like it takes a bit of an effort because you're.
It's
in the
almost
snow.
like, would you say it's like running in sand a little bit? Is that comparable? Like on a
I would say it's
beach,
depending on what type of sand, it'd be pretty comparable, but probably harder because
that's crazy.
because you're doing two things, so it gets uneven and it's soft. So it's uneven and it's soft. So you're trying to avoid the soft spots where you sink, and then, but then you have to land on the uneven spots too and then you have to avoid like hurting yourself. Like me with my weak ankle, with my weak foot, it was hard to do.
So
but like amazed that people could do 44 miles. So good.
Wow. So the temperature wise, it was also, I mean, it was very cold when you started, I think. And what was it, minus 15 or something like that, 17?
Yeah, 17, but temperature was fine. Temperature was
okay. I was going to ask you, temperature was not an issue.
Perfect. Temperature was sorry. So when I was done and I was just like sitting, I got cold, but I just went. I didn't stop. So I did my first 4 loops without stopping at all. I mean, I did walk every lap to get my nutrition in and up those. There was pretty severe slopes uphill. So everything was on plan. I was about 48 minutes per lap. And then when I stopped, I started feeling very cold. It was weird because you don't notice it while you're, and then I actually observed kind of the leaders because I just wanted to learn a little bit. So I observed them how they did their stop. So I was in there probably for like an hour after.
It's a yurt, right? It's an outdoor tent kind of thing.
Yeah. The yurt, just observing people.
Is it heated?
There's a little fireplace, but it's pretty cool in there. So I observed so the pro actually didn't win.
So Joel told me he's not a pro, by the way.
Well, he was ranked top 5 in the world for obstacle.
Yeah, but he's not a pro in that he does this for a career, right?
Okay. Well, whatever.
But anyways,
yeah,
he didn't win.
So he didn't win. He was way ahead. He lapped me. So he was going at a crazy pace because he lapped me on my 3rd lap. He was doing his 4th. And then the guy that eventually won, he only lapped me when I was doing my 5th, which would have been his 6th. So he was pretty far behind. But anyway, so I observed them both come in. It was really interesting because I wanted to learn like their strategies and stuff. So first of all, they were a lot more lightly dressed, I carried way too much stuff, I think, because I was trying to I was trying to prepare. I don't know. It's way easier to come in, change your stuff and pick up so go lighter would be definitely my advice to myself for next year. Like don't carry as much stuff. And they were kind of taking their time when they came in, make sure they got their water in, make sure they kind of got their nutrition stuff. And then they'd go out and they'd run pretty fast and then they'd come back. So that part I enjoyed, just watching them, the 2 leaders. I saw both of them come in and see how they did it. So I learned.
Joel was telling me that the 2 guys who won were actually, I guess, looking worse and behind the other guy till basically the end. And the other guy just quit after 10 laps. Is what he told me.
I guess maybe he just wanted to do 10 laps and he was like, that's all I'm doing today, right? Like
he just quit. And those guys went out for a whole other lap and they came after him to the 10th lap.
Yeah. So then they did an extra 11. So they basically did like a lap and a half after he was done. That makes sense. He probably just decided, like that Mick Garlow guy probably just decided I'm doing 10 laps and that's it, right? Like that was, and whatever. But he was going at a good pace. He must have been done like with an hour and a half left or something.
I don't know.
He was doing his 7th. He was on his 7th. He finished his 7th in about 4:20, I would say.
So he finished 28 miles in 420 in the snow?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, because he was right behind me. So I walked my fifth lap. So I was done at about 4:15, my fifth lap.
4 hours and 15 minutes, yeah.
Because I walked most of that fifth lap. And he came in maybe 10 minutes, 10 minutes after me, but that would have been his seventh.
Wow. So
pretty good.
Yeah. Do you think that, so what percentage of this, like I texted you, I said, I don't think it's a disappointment. I mean, I don't know. I can't understand what it would feel like, but what percentage of this do you think is us, you and I, and you not knowing how tough this race was going to be? And what percentage do you think it's like you getting that injury that may have been caused by that race, or just like the injury? What percentage was the injury, and what percentage of it was you just not knowing how tough this race was going to be?
Yeah, I think like 50-50 maybe. I think the injury was, I think just how tired I was. Like, so two things. So my lack of strength in maybe areas that I needed more strength. So my ankles, my feet, maybe there needs to be a bit more strength there for me to be able to handle that type of race, which made me more tired, which probably kind of precipitated the injury.
So there could potentially be tied together then.
Yeah, what I'm saying is because I wasn't trained well enough in that type of environment, I think handling the cold was no problem for me. Like that I'm used to. It was just handling that tough terrain. So I think if I were to plan to train for this race again next year, I would definitely incorporate slowly building up mileage in those terrible conditions,
in the slush, in the snow, and in kind of in the slush.
Like maybe start like a mile in that would normally be like, I wouldn't want to do it because it'd be too hard. But so now that I mean, I could have just kept walking, but I don't know that would have alleviated my injury.
And what would it have done, really? Like, you've proven to yourself that you're an elite runner, and you've qualified for, a heck of a lot of races. You're focused on this one race that's coming in 2 months. You need to be healthy for that race. So like to do 24 miles or 28 miles, or it's kind of irrelevant, right?
Yeah. And I just wasn't into it because I knew, after that, it just was it was painful too, but now 2 days later, I've recovered pretty decently. So we'll see how it goes.
Did it kind of hammer your quads or your ankles or anything? Like, what about what do they call it, tibialis in the front there?
No, just my calves. Calves are because it's so hard. Every step, you're like stabilizing every step, and it's all calves and feet for me, I guess. I don't know. My calves are still stiff. I did do. I was not in the greatest of mood for the week, as what happens when you get a bit of a disappointing race. I'm sure you've all been there. But I did go for my 3K swim this morning, and
good for you. How'd that go?
And I was like just wanting to complete it. So I did it in an hour 4:55, which was only like 2 minutes slower, less than 2 minutes slower than the last time. So pretty happy with it.
Yeah, but you swam 3K. Like, that's very few people can do that, right?
No. So, I mean, it's just about kind of getting back into it now, getting the nutrition. So the other thing is with this race is after the race, I just didn't care about nutrition, and, had
pigged out on a cheeseburger and a poutine or something.
Pigged out for like 2 days. So now I'm getting back on.
Was that, do you think, the fact that you obviously were craving it and so good, or was it the fact that you were so down on yourself about your race? Was it like depressed eating, or was it like needing that sweet tooth because you missed it?
No, I was more depressed eating.
Okay.
So I think, to summarize, it was really hard, and I really respect these runners that do these hard trail courses. even. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's almost like a slightly different. It is a different sport than running, because you also have to have the strength, right? But now it's time to move on. And so, do you want to talk about your race?
Well, I want to just touch on a few things here. So one is this issue of ankle strength and tibialis and calves and all the ligaments and tendons around the ankle is one that Joel, I keep mentioning Joel, so the guy who runs these things and who has been my personal trainer. I've been working with him now for, I don't know, 5 months or something. I don't know how long, but twice a week I do ankle, calf, and tibialis work, which is usually
what's tibialis?
Is the front part of like the kind of from the ankle up to halfway up the leg on the front, like the
shin.
The shin, I guess. Yeah, I guess the shin. I'm not good at describing things, but the muscle that's kind of the face of the shin. And he basically told me the first day I walked in there, I told him, I want to do this, I want to do that. And he was very polite about it. Joel's a beauty, and I think I have so much respect for him. But I read through the lines, and he basically told me my legs were weak, my ankles were weak, my calves were weak, and I'd never be able to survive a trail race. He didn't say that, but that's what I gathered. So we've been working very hard on, because I told him I want to do an ultra at some point.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a trail race at some point. And he's like, okay, well, then if that's a goal, we got to. So every week. So it's basically, a lot of it is on a Bosu ball, like a half ball, which I now bought. I have one in my office here. And every day I'm on it. So you're basically just trying to balance on a ball, 1 foot. And it's like the whole thing is shaking and your leg is like just trying to hang on for as long as you possibly can. You try to do a minute and a half if you can, and then you do the other leg. And so we do that. And then I do kind of just weighted. I'll just be standing on one leg with a weight, and he like kicks the weight around. So the weight goes back and forth and you're trying to just balance. And he does stuff like that. Calf raises, you do probably a ton of that. Walking on your heels with your toes kind of curved up, and just kind of stepping, and the weird muscles that I never knew needed to work on. I will say it scared the shit out of me when I saw your results, because I know how fit you are. I know how much you trained. And I was just thinking, this is a different beast, right? This is a different animal, obviously, is what I thought. Or shit, Charlie really, really got hurt, or like, cause it scared me because I've never run this. And I honestly thought you'd kill this race this weekend. Like, that's how little I knew about how difficult this was.
Yeah. But so two things. So I was not doing those workouts. One thing, my running I haven't been on form, right? So to me, every time I ran more than 10 miles, my foot would start to hurt when I was training. So it was kind of delusional for me to think that I could do better than that. To be honest, I think you are way ahead of the game because you've done that training with Joel, and also you've been putting in a lot of miles. Not like I've barely been putting any miles running. So I think we're in two different situations. Also, I would say that probably your run is going to be slightly easier than mine in terms of the requirements to do it.
It better be. It better not be double the difficulty. Like
I'm exaggerating when I say it's double for me. It was double for me because of my weak ankles. But I mean, I'm sure the leader, it was only maybe 10% harder because he was more trained for it, right? But I think you'll be fine.
I mean, I hope I'm fine, but one thing I know is that I need to respect this race. I need to respect this distance, and I can't go in there. I need to respect this distance in this race. And I'm glad that I've been doing all the stabilizer exercises, and I'm glad that, because I don't know, I just don't know what to expect this weekend, which is kind of scary. It's probably the feeling you had, right? Were you like scared and like, I don't know what to expect, or were you confident?
No, I was not confident. So I tried to be, you know how you try to be, but for the past month, I've been like, I don't know if I can handle this running in the hard snow and things like that. And I was hoping it wouldn't be as hard as I was expecting, but it was actually harder than I expected. But my confidence was not high. No,
and maybe just as a reminder, this race, this Frozen Falcon, you're in the middle of nowhere, Falcon Lake, Manitoba. It's on a cross-country ski resort type thing, right?
Yeah, it was my nemesis. It's where I learned how to snowboard, because now when I got there, I remembered trying to learn how to snowboard, and it's just a T-bar. And
is that where you were dragging and hanging?
Graves was like, you can do it, and I was trying to, and I couldn't get up the T-bar because I didn't really know how to snowboard. So then I quit going up the T-board, and I remember climbing that hill, like climbing it just with my feet about 20 times, and then trying to learn. Anyways, I think by the end of the day, I almost knew how to snowboard. But,
so you and then like you're basically you're on a ski, call it a mini ski hill. For those of you who don't know, it's a very, 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 very small hill. You would not call it a hill unless you were in Manitoba. It's not really a hill.
It's not really a hill, but yeah.
But so you're kind of jogging around that and kind of onto the lake a little bit, and you're in deep snow. It's cold. There's one kind of warming place, but you're outside. It's minus 15 degrees. You're running through paths of
it's very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yeah. But just how tough it is.
So the first portion is all uphill, the first like half mile, where to me, it's like, unless you're in crazy good shape, it's not runnable.
He told me the first mile was straight uphill and most people were walking it.
Yeah, I walked it every time. Mick ran it a little bit, and the guy that won ran it too with Aaron Webb, I think. Those three guys were the only three I saw run it. Everyone else was walking it, because you go like, you're probably walking it up at 16 minutes a mile, but you're probably running it at like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I walked it up. So the first portion is really hard, but that was what I used to kind of rehydrate, eat some food. And then you would get onto a bit of a flatter spot. So then I'd start running that flat spot. And then you got to the lake. The lake was just absolutely beautiful to run on, but the surface, like, it was like hard. Like, it was just either
slippery
pothole. Well, no, not slippery. Just, it was either potholes or you would sink, or you would like twist your ankle because you would go on the side of a thing. But really, really, and the whole course was basically that, like, in terms of running. But when you get on that lake and maybe you'd see someone half a mile ahead, it was amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, Falcon Lake is, to me, it's the best lake, the most beautiful spot in Manitoba, like that or West Hawk. Like,
yeah,
there's just so beautiful Falcon Lake. I prefer it over Lake of the Woods. I know some would disagree with me, but I think it's just the most beautiful spot in Manitoba, lake-wise. So good for you for running. Do you think you want to do this before we, like, I don't want to belabor this thing, but do you think you want to do this race again or no?
At this point, I would say no. But
because we're recording this 4 days after your race? No, 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that I failed at it, is the thing.
I don't think you failed at it.
Well, whatever. I would like to do a better result because it's such a difficult challenge, right? And I kind of love challenges. So, but I need to be 100% healthy. And 2, I probably need to up my game on running in hard conditions. So
get yourself a Bosu ball and do twice a day, 1 minute on the half a Bosu.
Yeah.
And you can take the air out of it, makes it harder and harder. And as you get better, the cool thing about this ball that I got is I couldn't do a minute when I first got it, like months ago. And now, like, I can juggle on it and I can whatever. I can't juggle, but
so on the next episode, Rob shows us how to juggle on a boat.
No, I'm not quite juggling yet, but I just feel that I'm getting stronger in my ankles and my feet. And it's what I need, because like the last thing I need is a foot injury or
But like I've run on trails, and compared to trails are easy compared to running in the snow.
So if a road is here, if a road is call it a 10, and the Falcon Frozen was 20, and I don't know.
Sorry, the road is like a 0. Is like
okay, the road's a 0, a perfect road or a perfect road
Yeah.
is 0. And a sidewalk in winter, a packed sidewalk in winter might be
packed sidewalk in winter might be like depending on the sidewalk, might be a 7 or 8. So let's say, what's the scale up to? 10?
10, let's say.
Yeah, so a packed sidewalk in winter might be a 3.
Okay, 3. And then
2
like the
or a
trails at Fort White might be a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I never ran them, but if it's packed and it's like relatively smooth, then it's a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
And this is the hardest I've ever run on, but there might be harder things to run on. I don't know. So I would say it's probably like a 9, Falcon Lake.
Okay. That's interesting. I hope that I get like, so, and what would trails be? What would like,
and trails to me would be probably like a 4 or 5. Relative, I would say, compared to this. I mean, so let's take elevation out of it, right? So
yeah, take elevation out to make it apples to apples.
Because there's a lot of elevation that even made it harder, but elevation is another huge factor. So I don't know how much elevation there is in your ultra. Do you know?
Yeah, I have the map. It's scary a little bit. Well, it's scary. It's you see it, but there's 3 loops of it, right? So you're like, oh, I can. Here, I'll share.
But honestly, the Frozen Falcon, they should market it as like the toughest course you can run. Like, it's pretty hard.
It looks like it's so per loop. So this is well, holy smokes! It's 25 kilometers. I get 3 of these. Wow. Yeah, I'll share this screen here. How do I do this?
It's 50 miles, right?
Yeah, 50 miles. So it's about 100 feet min to max. It looks like it's the same hill over and over and over again. Yeah. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20, 25 times up 100 feet, something like that.
How short are the loops? 4-mile loops?
17-mile loops.
Well, how can you have the same hill that many times?
It's not the same hill. I'm like, if I were to share this elevation.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm guessing you're going.
Maybe
the max is 380 feet. The max is 380 feet. The min looks like it's about 260.
But you're doing that a lot of times.
Yeah, you're not always going min to max, but like sometimes you go 380 to 340, 380, 340, 380, 340, then you go back to 300. Then
I would recommend for you to probably at the beginning save your energy and climb and just walk the hills, up the hills.
Yeah, I think I want to walk it.
Just to start to see how it feels, at least at the beginning, and then when you get to the end, then you can push it, right? But if you feel good, it's also a time that you can take in some nutrition, right?
Yeah, here I'll share the elevation with you, just so you could see it. It's this one right here. So if I zoom in here. Are you able to see that?
Yeah. So this is the 25 miles. So this is per loop.
Yeah. This must be miles. So this will be 2 loops of this. So, here you're climbing, looks pretty steep here, about 70 feet. And then, whatever these are, this is only 30 feet. This one's a big one here, 260. That's 100 feet here.
Yeah. So probably at that hill,
this one here is another 80 feet. This
10
one
miles,
a big one.
10 miles in every 5 miles almost. So 5.
And the map itself is here. So like, I'm trying to think why that would be the case. So you start here.
Yeah.
and you go do this little thing. So you're probably going up and down here. There's probably elevation. Then you go all the way out. Oh yeah, it is the same. So the loop itself goes over and back over the same hills. That's why.
Yeah.
You're going up. Let's say there's a hill
going
here.
one way over and then back.
And then here too, you're going up and then back down potentially, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. So if you go back to the profile, go down a little bit. So you got a hill at 5. You got another hill at 10. So that's pretty easy to remember, right?
Yeah. But these are kind of smaller hills, but probably a mile here, right?
Let's say the bigger ones, right? Like,
but I mean, these will be like at mile, what is this, 3.5 here? This will be 50 feet. This one was 60 feet, 70 feet.
But I guess what I'm saying is maybe if you could plan to take a bit of a walking break at those, if you want to plan some walking breaks.
Yeah.
5, 10.
14.
Maybe,
this one here.
I mean, that's up to you how you feel.
But I think what I'm going to do is like, it's crazy how little I've actually sat and thought and made a game plan for this, because I really just don't know what to do. I can't say I'm going to run at 11 minutes. I'm going to walk 1 minute every mile or whatever. I kind of have to throw that out the window, right?
Yeah, you had your call with Patrick already, right? So,
I did, but I haven't, like you, I think proof that I need to figure out what I'm running is like, I don't know what I'm running this weekend, right? I think it has to be how hard I'm going to go.
You have to do it by how you feel, right? So your first, you have to start, to me, you have to start at like a 3 effort.
Yeah, a 3 or a 4, right?
So something that would feel like for you, no, even smaller, like 2 or 3, or like something that would feel like a 10-minute mile.
So when I was doing my races in Florida, I was doing a half marathon every morning. I wanted to run at a pace that I thought I could run forever at.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing all of them. I did 7 of them between 2:04 and I think 2:10.
Right. So just under 10. Just under
10. Flat though, no hills. Like,
yeah.
Very easy.
What I'm saying is you probably need to mimic that feeling.
Right. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking I want that feeling and yet walk every.
And even a little bit easier than that.
A little bit easier.
Yeah. And then at the end, once you start getting close to something where you can actually understand how difficult it's going to be, you can push if you feel good. Like, sounds to me, which sounds with the training you've done, that you might be able to do that, but you hold off till you're kind of, you can go,
Yeah, I think it's how I have to do it. I gotta just respect the race and just not. Anyways, I want to do well, but I also want to finish, not get injured, and not. I want to finish, not get injured. I'm less concerned about the time.
Do you have any nagging? Like, are you feeling pretty good?
I'm feeling very good. I'm tapering, and like I almost like tapering kind of sucks, right? It's like you want to get out there, and I know why I'm doing it there, but like,
do you sometimes feel like you just want to sprint down the hallway or stuff?
Well, I jog up the stairs. Like, we have 2 flights of stairs here, and I just kind of jog up them, and people look at you like crazy. But like yesterday, I wasn't supposed to do anything, so I went for like an hour walk with my dog, and I just do an hour walk, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's funny. Joel told me like he believes in tapering, but he's like, for you, I don't think if you did a half hour or 40-minute jog every day this week, I don't think it would impact you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm trusting Patrick, and
I feel like to me, tapering makes a lot more sense, like to go hard on the tapering in an ultra, because like you don't need the speed, right?
Yeah.
So like, to me, what happens when you taper too much is that you kind of lose that feeling of going fast, right? But you don't need it because you're not going to be running that fast anyways, right? So
yeah. Well, remember in LA, we can't, like, I don't know how you felt, but I remember thinking like, I don't remember how it feels to like that taper felt I was itching to go, and it felt like I didn't really remember how it felt to like run fast and to push myself, and because like
Well, so I always include some race pace stuff in during my taper period.
yeah, but we were running way faster than anything. Like race pace, I was doing 7.5-minute miles, and all of a sudden we're doing 6-minute miles, right?
Yeah, well, so on the day before I did, I went up to 6:30 for a mile. I did a mile at 6:30, and then or 6:45, whatever. And then always the week of I did my kind of like strides, whatever.
Yeah, I guess
you don't need that. What I'm saying is you don't need that for an ultra. You don't.
No, and don't get me wrong. I know that this is going to benefit me. I know the fact that I'm not doing mileage here is going to benefit me. I think I have like 20 minutes tomorrow, and like
just so you don't stiffen up type of thing. Or
I think maybe it's 30 minutes tomorrow, and I think I have 20 minutes on Friday. I think that's my.
And is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Okay. Wow, it's coming up soon. You must be pumped.
Yeah, I'm excited, and like I'm flying, and the boys are coming, and we booked a tea time on Super Bowl Sunday at a golf course, and we're gonna go do an escape room, and it's exciting for that, and they're looking into what they need to do to crew me, like because this is not like the Ironman where you can't do anything. Like I had a crew for the Ironman, but they couldn't do anything. You can't go into the space. You can't help.
But here they can be at the aid stations or
be at the aid stations. They can even, they can't run with me, but they can go bring stuff to the different to the different points. And they can, so if I'm telling them like, I'm going to need whatever, my Snickers bar in 5 miles, then they can go and drive there. It's in a state park, so you can actually get to the spots. So they're basically going to set up camp, set up shop, cooler, water, Bud Lights for themselves, and they're just gonna.
And how can we follow you on this?
I don't know. I had a hard time following you this weekend. I imagine this is going to have maybe like. I imagine they're going to have regular intervals, but I don't know. I don't know if they follow it.
Okay.
And it looks like it's. So my start's at 7 a.m. There's the way they do it. There's a competitive start, and then there's an open start.
Okay.
If you want to just sleep in, you can go in the open start. And if you don't want to have the mass start.
Okay.
But I'm going to do the competitive start just because I want to experience it and I want to feel it and I want to, and I guess.
Well, isn't the course shut down after a certain time?
That too. So I just want to give myself time. But it's funny, I went for a walk yesterday and I went around, I did a 5K loop, kind of 6K loop, I guess. I went on the river and kind of into trails and back. And I averaged just below 10 minutes a kilometer. So I was thinking, okay, well, worst case, if I have to walk the whole thing, it's 800 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It's less than 14 hours.
Yeah. It's a bit harder though.
I know, but every minute, every mile you jog, you chop away at that walking time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you like obviously you're focused now, you're back in it. Are you running anything till the till the Ironman?
No, I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk to my coach. No, I don't want to. I just want to focus on training. I think doing races, unless I just do them for fun,
which is tough for you and
which sometimes I do. Actually, I did that all summer last year when I was kind of recovering from my injury, and it actually was good. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know, but nothing serious because I think it just throws me off my training when I do, and so we'll see.
Okay.
What about you? Do you have anything else?
I signed up for the half hyperbaric or what was it called?
Hypothermic
half at the end of this month, and I'll go do that. I want to meet people too because I got to tell people about Run with Rob, right? So I gotta meet some people. And crazy, on Saturday I was doing 17K and I was supposed to do, and I ended up just I'll go to the Forks and I'll figure it out from there. No real plan. I'm just going to.
Yeah.
And I saw a group of guys running.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were 500 meters ahead of me because they were going under the bridge and I was crossing over. And I was like, So I kind of sprinted and I was like, yeah, I'll catch up to them. But I was like, holy shit, they're way ahead of me. And it felt the same way we felt when we were trying to catch up that group. So anyways, it took me like a mile to catch up to them, or 2 miles to catch up to them. And when I caught up to them, they were like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, no, I don't want to pass. I
want to join.
I want to run with you guys. And like, oh yeah, for sure. Right on. Yeah. What's your name? What are you training for? What do you guys, those guys were doing 22K, I think, or 25K that day. Mm-hmm. And just kind of jogging around. It was Saturday was, I think, colder than Sunday. I think it was minus 18 or something.
Yeah. Saturday was colder. Yeah.
So those guys were doing 2+ hours outside and I met them. I started chatting with them and it's crazy how, I'm guessing the running community is, because I don't know anyone in the running community because I've only recently joined it, right? Like I don't really know anyone, but I met those guys. They're awesome. They signed up for my, they're following my YouTube page and my Instagram. And the one guy's like, oh, I think I'll do Run with Rob. And
really,
so you just meet people because we chatted the whole time, right?
Oh, that's great.
And all of a sudden I'm all the way out in Charleswood and I'm like, oh shit, I got to get back. I was like, oh, I got to get back, guys. Okay. Cause I still had like I had whatever I had 40-minute jog back. So I just said, okay, guys, have a great day. Thanks. And I just kind of went home, but I figured how fun that was, just running with random people that I didn't know and shared stories. And they were telling me about their Ironmans. And the one guy did 2 or 3 of them. And the other guy was telling me about he was supposed to do one. And then COVID happened. And anyways, it was just story time, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's anyways, it was neat. Those guys are good people. So anyways, I'm going to go to this half marathon in, I don't know, late February, I think. But other than that, like I'm really, really excited about this ultra this weekend. And we'll see how it goes, I guess.
You're fly? So when are you leaving?
I fly Friday.
And then you just run the next day.
The next day. I did it in Vegas. I felt good. So I've been historically a very good flyer and I'm good at sleeping on planes and I think I'm good at recovering and flying. And I know that's not, some people would disagree. They'd say, even if you feel good, there's impact on your.
Well, the results speak for themselves, right? So.
I just didn't want to I'd rather get the day on the back end.
Yeah.
The extra day on the back end to just kind of recover. We're going to enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to go do that golf escape room. We're going to go watch the Super Bowl somewhere. Yeah. And then we fly back Monday.
Well, I think you'll be fine. I think so you'll be tired.
Well, I don't get there till 5:30. Pick up the car.
No, the day after I'm talking about. You'll be fine the day.
I'm not worried about it. The coach was more worried about than I am, but whatever.
About what, you getting there too like short of time?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so let's talk about your training like the last couple months. Like let's talk about that.
Sure. I've had heavy training. So I'm tapering, but before my taper, so weeks 3 and 4 out, I did, what did I do? I did like 50 miles on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So including a full marathon on a treadmill twice. Yeah. And I think the weekend before that, I did 24. And the weekend before that, I think I did 22. And the weekend before that, I did 20. So my Saturdays went from like just jogging an hour or two to 20, 22, 24, 26, 26. So 2 26s. And then the Sunday was 13s. So I do a 26 and then I do a half the next day. And then usually my Friday was a 10. So not quite 50 miles, but pretty close to 50 miles on the weekend. If you count Friday, we'll count Friday as the weekend.
Yeah. So your aerobic fitness must be just through the roof right now.
I certainly feel like it's the most fit I've been. I mean, my weight's down too, if that matters. I don't know if it does, but I feel like I could.
There's a lot.
Like the aerobic fitness is.
What's your resting heart rate? Did it drop?
I have no idea. I should check that. I know that my VO2 max that I track on this thing is up to
max is one thing, but if your resting heart, like to me, all that training should drop your rest, especially after the taper. It should really drop your.
Okay, so my resting heart rate looks like it's around 50. So if I look at the 1-year chart, like it's a pretty good chart. It's
Well, I can't. You're gonna show me your cone for real? Okay.
like it's
So
down, right?
dropping down pretty
It's a
good.
nice pattern that's down. So I'm at 51 or so right now, but it's
Yeah.
like I was not that long ago. I was at 65 and I was at 70 2 years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Is your resting heart rate that high? Or?
Mine was at like 48 when I ran the marathon, and then it went. I don't know. I got sick or something. Anyways, it went back up to 65, and now it's slowly dropping back to normal. It's like at 53 or something. But
Yeah, what day is this? February 3rd, I was at 42. That was before I did my last long run.
yeah.
So I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
the long runs might tire you out, right?
Yeah, like it's not. I don't know about this data. I don't know if you trust it more than I do, but like it looks like some days it spikes for no reason. Like I'm not drinking, I'm sleeping well, I'm eating good, I'm training regular the intervals. Like I feel like it should be more linear. But obviously, like I'll move from 40 to 60 in 2 days.
Well, yeah, there's some daily variance, right? So, I mean, it depends on how, like, it depends how it gets calculated, right? So, are they taking a moving average, or like, I think the way Fitbit does it is they take an average of like the last 3 weeks or something. So it doesn't change as much.
Yeah.
But really, like, my resting heart rate after I ran those 20 miles in the snow was probably like 65 the day after.
Right. Because it was
because I had to recover from that. Right.
It's pumping blood to the muscles to help recover, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So anyways.
One of my biggest concerns, last thing, is this thing. Like I want to have my data for the whole race. As if you don't care about having your data.
Be in the moment, man. That's how you run good races.
No, I need my data. You're the data guy.
What's your concern? What's your concern about the data?
The watch will die, and then I won't know.
So here's the 2 data points you need. You only need one data point, okay, when you're done this thing, and that's your time. So,
no, I know, but I mean, I want the data while I'm running.
Really?
Yeah, I want the heart rate. I want the pace. I need all that. I'd like to have all that.
Okay.
You don't like to have that when you're running?
Not a race. I will never look at it during a race.
Especially if I'm doing loops of the same thing. I want to like compare how I did to the prior loops and like, am I slowing down? Do I feel that much worse? How much, it's just another data point to compare to, especially since they're loops.
Yeah, but then you think about it too much.
I'll kind of have a bit of time to think about things.
Yeah, I guess that goes against my philosophy, but so my philosophy on races is that you got to be in touch with your internal. You got to kind of read your body and race accordingly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't work too well last. It didn't work too well. But it's worked well in the past.
Yeah. Well, that's a different race. But no, I want to make sure I have, I don't know. I like looking at my data from past races too. It's fun to see.
That I do love. I do love looking back and saying, like, I remember one time you had texted me and you're like, oh, how hard should you be running? Oh, this was right before your marathon. Your first marathon when you came back. Okay?
Yeah. 4 hours and 48 minutes.
You had texted me and you're like, what should be my heart rate for this race? And I still had all my previous marathons and I sent you all, and they were all 165. But
yeah, that's crazy. 165. That's good. You leave it out there. That's for sure. Yeah. What do you think my average heart rate will be for this race? What was your average heart rate for the time you ran?
I got really annoyed at my Fitbit, turned it off, and
because you didn't need the data.
Well, I wish I would have had it. So here's the thing. So after my second loop, I wanted to see my time, but instead I just paused my workout. Then I completed my third loop and I wanted to see how much time my third loop took. So this is how often I'm looking at my watch, once every 4 miles.
That's about what I look at, for the record.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know, and then I saw it was paused, so it didn't record the third loop. And then I went tabarnak, and then I just wanted to know how much time that loop took, so I turned it off just so I could have the watch to tell me, okay, so that was 48 minutes. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you knew you started at 8 a.m. or whatever.
And then I didn't I was too lazy to restart it. So when you're tired,
take the mid off. Yeah.
So yeah, I wish I would have had I bet you my heart rate was pretty high, even though I was going so slow. I bet you my heart rate was like 145, even higher, 150, even though I was barely moving.
Yeah, so I guess I know this thing won't last, so I don't know. What do I do? Whatever.
What do you mean? Like, it doesn't last the 8 hours?
It's not going to last 12 hours or 10 hours or whatever I need it to last with it on. So I think what I can do is...
How long does it last?
Well, it lasts a day if I'm not... it's registering a workout, right? So when it's registering a workout, I could just leave it on and just have the time.
Okay.
But I don't need the time, right? I guess I could. No, I won't. So when it's on, when it's registering a workout, it drains relatively fast, way faster than when it's not registering a workout.
And you're sure it's not going to last 8 hours?
I'm pretty sure. Online they were saying they don't. 8 hours? You think I'm doing this in 8 hours?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're crushing it. Okay, 9 hours. Sorry.
No. Anyways, detail. I'll figure it out.
So other options are to have just an app. Just if you want to keep the data, would be to just have a
bring my phone. I didn't want to bring my phone with me though. I was gonna just not have my phone with me. But maybe what I'll do is I'll keep this for the first 2 loops. Yeah. And then I'll use my phone for the third loop. And then for my third loop, people can text me and I can be like, oh, I want to quit. And you'll be like, no, you're doing great.
Yeah. Yeah.
One time I got a text during a marathon, one time in my career, and it was Claude. And I was like, I texted him. I was like, I can't do this. I'm done. It was the 4:48.
Yeah.
He just said, I think it was just keep moving. Put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he said. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Just keep moving. I'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually I don't want to see text, right? Because people that are following online, oh, Rob, you're doing great. Or like in my chat for my Ironman, my work chat, they were all following and they were like, oh, his pace is quicker or whatever. But I was in the chat. So like,
so when you saw it after? Or?
Well, I didn't bring my phone, or I forget if I had my phone with me, but I was purposely not looking because I didn't want to see what people were saying about me. But I checked it after.
Okay, so final question.
Yeah. This is Charlie being annoyed. Okay, we got to wrap this up.
No. We don't have to wrap it up. No. I'm enjoying this. What is your prediction for your time?
Man, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like saying that. So my prediction is I'm going to finish.
Yeah.
But I realize there's a very real possibility that it'll come with a lot of walking at the end when I'm not ready for this. And it's way harder than I thought it was. And I wasn't able to go at the pace I want to do, or I went too fast. Like I realize that's a real possibility. So I don't want to be embarrassed if that happens. But assuming that doesn't happen. So if that happens, it might be 13, 14 hours, right? It might be 12, 13, 14 hours. If I'm just not mentally prepared for this and I've never done more than 26 miles. But if that doesn't happen and things are, if I have a perfect day, I'm going to say 9:57.
9:57. Okay.
Just enough ahead of 10 hours that I have a cushion that I can walk the last part.
Okay. And it's 3 loops, right?
3 loops, 17 miles each, and not quite, I guess, 16 and change.
And what are you doing for nutrition?
Gels. But I want to eat real food. I think I'm going to do Cliff Bars and gels.
I don't know why you like the Cliff Bars.
Oh, they're so good. My stomach can handle it. It's real food, right? So
So I've got these. So I use these fruit source. It's like the kids. It's like the fruit roll-ups.
Yeah. Is it what's like? Is it called Fruit Source?
Fruit source. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know what those are. Is it actual roll-ups or the gummies?
It's kind of like It's kind of like pure sugar. They call it.
Is it the
fruit.
gummies though? Like the small pieces that you one pop in your mouth? Or
No,
is it
it's a whole bar. So 29 grams of carbs. So I don't know if that makes sense, but to me they go down smooth, and
the bars. Okay, I know. Sometimes
yeah. So the kids, like you give them to your kids.
Yep,
I give them
yep.
to my kids, anyways. It's like a snack for them to have. 29 grams. I kind of like that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I haven't even thought of this. I haven't even thought of do I need a like coach told me, oh yeah, you'll have your running vest with the water in it and your hydration vest. And I'm like, I don't even own a hydration vest. Do I need to go and buy one?
I have a vest for you if you want. You don't have one? You can
I
use
don't.
mine.
I wasn't gonna wear one because I was like, every 5 miles there's a stop. Like I can go 5 miles without water.
Yeah, but then you have to down so much water.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm good at downing water.
Yeah, but then it doesn't. I think it's better to drink it like.
Or I was going to do just my running belt with 250 mLs.
Yeah, you should do that. You should do that.
He said if you're going to do that, you might as well wear it, and it's a lot easier and it's less cumbersome. And
if you can put nutrition, so yeah, and then you're going to just do nutrition at the aid stations.
I'll do, twice.
Well, you can probably what kind of pants are you going to wear?
Well, it's going to be, holy smokes. Have you seen the temperature in Huntsville?
Yeah, it's going to be hot, eh?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's cold next week.
It's going to be 0 at start time.
Oh, that's perfect for you. That's good.
And the high is like supposed to be 10.
So if you can put a bunch of gels in your pants.
Yeah, like I was thinking, well, don't forget, every 17 miles, I get to see my crew and I get my entire...
That's what I mean. Like, so if you plan on doing a gel every 4 miles, let's say.
That's kind of what I was thinking, like the marathon
You might need a bit more than that because there's an end point to a marathon. So I think you probably need a little more than that. But let's say you do that. So then all you need is to refill like 4 gels every time you get there and drink water.
And I was thinking I could have some real food but I mean, their aid stations, they got all sorts of stuff.
But coach says you need like 60 grams, 60 to 90 an hour.
Yeah.
Which seems like a crazy high amount to me, but
yeah. When I told those guys how much I ate on the Ironman, they just thought that was absurd. The guys I ran with on Saturday.
Yeah, they said it was too much.
They said, what? Why would you eat 17 Cliff Bars in an Ironman? And I was like, well, I don't know. It was real food. And coach said, as long as you can handle the real food, keep putting it down. And I increased my nutrition plan because of the hydration, because how hot I was and how hard I was working. So I just increased everything. So maybe it was the wrong plan, but whatever. So it worked out for me. So I'm not worried about it. Like, could you possibly get too full? I mean, unless you get cramps.
I felt kind of full, honestly, when I did my Frozen Falcon. I felt full because coach said I was getting 90 grams of carbs per hour, and I felt full.
Did you feel too full?
Yeah, I think I was too full, potentially.
So maybe it's okay. So,
but that's 90, just me, right? That's just me. It could be different.
I think I'm going to do like gels and real food from time to time, either a banana or a Cliff Bar or whatever they have at the aid stations. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And every loop, I get an opportunity to load up or reevaluate or
it's always better to eat and drink more than to not have enough. Not having enough can be catastrophic, right?
Remind me, 0 degrees. So that was the same temperature as our start in Vegas, correct? And same temperature as our start in LA, right? Those were both 0 degrees Celsius?
No. So
LA was 0.
Our start in LA was colder than that.
-1, -2, whatever.
-5.
-5. Okay. LA, sorry. Vegas was 0, right?
Vegas was like -1 or something.
Okay. So I remember how cold that was. So like if I look at the temperature in Huntsville, I want your opinion on what to wear basically. Like it's going to be 0, and then it kind of peaks at, if I pull up the Saturday here, so 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., it's 1. And then by the time 9 hits, it's 6. And then it gets to 11 or 12 at 2.
Yeah, I would just wear shorts and a t-shirt.
Would you not even bother with the long pants for the first loop?
No.
Shorts, you'd go? I'm going to be for sure the only one in shorts. You're all going to be in parkas, right? Because they're not used to running in this.
So it's +1?
It's +1.
Okay, and then what time does it get to +5?
It gets to +5 around 9.
And when is your first loop done?
I mean, in theory, my first loop should take 3.5 hours, something like that.
And what time are you starting? 7?
7.
I feel like you're better off wearing less because honestly, like.
So at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Sorry, at 10 a.m., that's 3 hours in. It should be 5. But then at 11, it's 8. So I was thinking.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
I was thinking the long pants.
But get the thin ones, the really thin ones.
Yeah. The thin ones that we wore and
then take them off after the first loop.
Yeah. Worst case, I could take them off after.
And start with gloves. To me, the gloves.
I'm going to start with gloves. But like upper body, I was thinking just my compression shirt and my sleeves. And then the sleeves I could just take off, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like I'm not going to need a sweatshirt, obviously.
No, I wouldn't.
Not at 2 degrees, right?
I don't think so.
And
I would not. Like normally that for me, that would just be my normal running clothes.
Like that's
anything above 0, I just don't change.
Right. And I mean, I'm not going to need a toque. Am I going to need a toque?
No.
Hat. I'm just going to wear my hat, my running hat, because it is sunny. It's sunny. So eventually there'll be sun and sunny and freezing.
Plus you're going to be cold at the beginning. It's fine. You're going to be a bit cold at the beginning, but
and I'm not running as fast as we were running in LA, right? Which warmed us up real quick.
Yeah. You won't be running as fast, but it is warmer. It's warmer. So it's going to be a bit warmer, right? So
a tad warmer. Yeah. So I was thinking long pants, compression shirt, sleeves, gloves, and I can just take the gloves and the sleeves off.
Yeah.
And the compression pants, I'll switch after the first loop.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably
worst case. You know what I'll do? I'll put my shorts over top of my compression pants. Compression pants is the wrong word. Those tight.
Put the pants over top so you can just take them off.
Yeah, I like it. And then if I need to take them off at the second aid station, I can just drop them right there. And
or even if you want to take them off early, you can take them off.
And then send one of the guys to go pick them up. I like those pants.
Well, I have some thin pants for you if you want, but like, are they thin? Are yours really thin? Or?
They're the Nike thin ones. Yeah, I love them. They're
okay.
I wear them kind of under when I jog in the winter.
Yeah,
they're thin. They're not the thick ones.
All right.
Yeah, I think I'll just do that. Hat, compression, and like shoes. I'm stressed out about my shoes because the stuff that worries me nowadays.
Do you want to borrow my Zagamas?
Well, no, I'm gonna wear so I bought these ultras, these trail shoes, the only pair of trail shoes I own. I've run with them.
What brand is it?
Ultra, Altra.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
It was recommended by Joel, loves them, and I went to the running room and the manager there was pushing them hard. So
are they heavy? Are they light?
I think they're light, but there's extra room in the I have wide feet. So there's extra room. It's comfortable for me. And there's a trail bottom. So I've run with them I did my Saturday run. I've done maybe 2 or 3 kind of half marathons outside with them. And I feel good in them.
You're fine.
But
I think people overestimate having to wear wear in shoes. Like, big deal, you're gonna get blisters, maybe, whatever.
I feel like I've never had a blister in my life in my shoes in the last 25 years. Like, that was the thing that happened as kids, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I got pretty severe blisters from the Frozen Falcon, but that's because I was running kind of weird because it was really
pain.
Tough.
I was thinking bringing those shoes bringing my all-time favorites that have 1,000,000 miles in them, but I know I can run 50 miles in them if I need to.
Yeah, you should do that, and then you can switch them halfway through it.
Yeah, and I was thinking a third pair in case, a faster pair in case. Do I need 3 pairs of shoes? Anyways.
Yeah, I'd just go with the 2. You mean like bring your Alpha Flies?
I said that, and coach like, you're not bringing your Alpha Flies. You're not doing that. No, I was gonna go like one of my faster Nikes with not the Alpha Flies, but one of the other ones with less miles on them.
You have another pair of Nikes?
I've been buying shoes like you.
What's the other pair? What type? What's the brand?
I don't know what they call them. I don't know. They were for sale. I bought them. I run with them. I like them. They were like not $350. They were like
just the Zoom X, maybe.
Zoom X, maybe. Yeah, $200 or something like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you bring a third pair. It can't hurt. Whatever.
And the thing is, now I used to travel in flip flops, but I can't stand that anymore. Like it's so uncomfortable. Now I wear shoes, so I like my stuff will still fit in my carry-on suitcase that I'm bringing. So. Okay, there you go. I gave you my prediction against my wishes. I gave you my prediction. Look forward to it. I'm probably gonna record an episode this weekend with the boys. Yeah. Maybe with you after or before, something like that. But looking forward to the race. Anything else, Charlie?
Nope. Good luck, and yeah, I'll be following.
Right on. All right, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the smash button, hit the bell, follow us on all of your wherever you listen to your podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe there too. Give us your comments. If you agree or disagree with anything Charlie and I have said, please put them in the comments below. Send us a chirp, send us well wishes or chirps, either one. We're happy to hear them. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
All right.